everybody, and hi, Miss Corrine, all the way from
Hello.
Arizona in the US, and me, Anne, from Greece. How about that? We are almost on the same
Meridian.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for your help. And welcome to you out there, everybody, to the Cosmic Sistar Show with Corrine and Anne, a sacred space where wisdom flows and celestial insights illuminate the path and awakening. Oh, that sounds really nice. In
Yes.
these episodes, we journey into the heart of ethereal transmissions, the journey of spiritual downloads and upgrades. Together, we explore how the universe communicates through subtle energies, guiding us with messages that awaken our consciousness and expand our soul's potential. Mm. Spiritual downloads arrive as whispers of truth, visions of clarity, and waves of inspiration that remind us of our infinite connection to the cosmos. Upgrades unfold as transformations within our energy field, aligning us with higher frequencies and preparing us to embody more of our authentic light and self. These transmissions are not random, but part of the divine design, inviting us to step into greater awareness, empowerment, and unity. Sorry for me starting on the words today. And today we will help you open the doorway to this exploration with warmth and wisdom, weaving together personal experiences, cosmic teachings, and practical guidance. This conversation invites you to embrace the flow of ethereal transmissions, to trust the process of spiritual upgrades, and to celebrate the unfolding of your soul's journey. And this is always more than a discussion and a conversation. It is an invitation to remember who you are, to honor the infinite intelligence guiding your path, and to step into the radiant truth of your being. And today is Wednesday, December 17th, right before, sorry, before Christmas, right?
Hmm.
And the topic for today is ethereal transmissions, the journey of spiritual downloads and upgrades. And here we go with all the dashes and stuff, right? So you can find upcoming and past episodes at our brand new YouTube channel, and you find it at youtube.com/at Cosmic Guardians 111. And we do continue to stream live at the same time on youtube.com/at Angel Place on Earth/streams. You can find our series. Yes, we have currently done 2 series, The Four Agreements and The Celestial Prophecy. Find our series at angelplaceonearth.com/series-cosmic-guardians. There we go. And our last show here with Cosmic Sisters and Corinne and myself was last Wednesday, December 10th. And we talked about decoding the divine digits, a dive into numbers, numerology, and guidance. If you want to connect with us, read articles, find out all there is about us, find Corinne and her website and phone number. By the way, Corinne's website is liquidenergyhealing.com. But if you go to angelplaceonearth.com/cosmic guardians, you can find about all of that information, plus articles and everything we
Yes.
do, simply, right?
Yes.
And you can also find upcoming and past episodes at angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming-past, and of course on both YouTube channels. So here we go again. I'm not going to talk forever, right?
Time to take a pause.
Let's dive into
Okay.
today's show. You ready?
Yes. When and where does that magical journey begin? As we begin our adventure on this earth, we came here and our past knowledge was erased, kind of like we were run through a vacuum and removed all of our true potential. Now, some people say that it's so we can have this adventure and learn as we go, and others say that maybe it happened because if we become aware of our greatest potential, the divine human, we're going to be too smart for our own britches. But as we go on this way and we get a glimpse, it may show up as a faint memory, something we recognize, a familiar face or a person, a strong feeling, but something is urging us to pursue a different direction. And it doesn't make any difference how you open up, because if you see the mystery, how about let's resolve it and let that curiosity that's asking us to pay attention and see where it takes us. So, how did you start waking up? I have my own story.
Well, I think because, first of all, for me, there's a difference with having gifts and seeing things and, sensing things and all of that good stuff. And also having the willingness to work on oneself, because that's the only way we can dig deeper or higher up, because it's not really up there for me. It's around us anyway. It's behind the veil, you can say. So
Yes.
my conscious journey started the year 2000. And I started actually to read the Celestial Prophecy with a group of Swedish women in Greece. How about that?
Yes.
Because I wanted to understand or start to understand how does this work? What's happening? And of course, it is a long process. It is something really intriguing, but you can't, once you start on it, you don't want to step back. You don't
No.
want to not doing it. And I've been doing it ever since. And I had glimpses throughout my life. I went to meditation with someone called Maharaji when I was 20. That was around the 80s, 84. And I did some other stuff, but I didn't do the deep sea. And that changes everything, because starting to understand, okay, I receive messages, I can see signs, what's happening, what's going on. And as we talk about today, there is difference between downloads when you receive information and when you upgrade yourself, when you transform, right?
Yes.
So, but they go hand in hand, and there are no shortcuts on this journey. We all have access to all the information, and we just need to be willing to open up. And it's I also want to mention that it's a very personal journey, and it's great to, if you go to a spiritual teacher, for instance, or you get a mentor, it's great to have that. But be picky and choose someone who is as authentic as possible, meaning that they have done their own homework on
Exactly.
themselves. Because otherwise, even if you call a psychic line, for instance, the messages you're going to be presented with are coming from a filter. Who is the filter? I think that's
Exactly.
really, really important, right? So, ethereal transmissions, there are moments when the soul receives more than insight. And that for me, it's when we just get I get inspired ideas. I just get ideas. This is how
Yes.
you're going to try this out. Uh, and this is not coming with somebody saying that you have to do this otherwise, right? Because that is a no-no.
Yeah.
It's coming like an inspiration. It brings me forward. So it puts me on the path. So if I have one foot, I know where to put the next one, right?
Yep.
And it feels like, you can call it a wave of energy, a pulse of knowing, because I also have that sense that I just know. And if I push myself, I'm not going to get that knowing. But if I let the energy free, it's going to come to me.
Yeah.
And because we are human beings, and a lot of people, it's very common these days that, well, I want to know now, at this time, right now. I don't have patience. I want to know what's going to be.
Yes.
That is when we block the energy. So we need to let the energy free, right? Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Yes. And I think, well, I know that when I was divorced in 1984, I realized, wow, it's just me now. For the first time in all of my life, I wasn't somebody's child. I wasn't somebody's wife. I wasn't somebody's mother. I was me. And it was kind of an aha time. Like I can physically remember waking up when my husband actually left the house, and I go, I can write whatever I want in my book. What do I write? Who am I? And I think clearing that allowed for my spiritual life to start happening. And I'm not sure whether the automatic writing started first, uh, or whether the download started, but there's a difference between the two, in my opinion. The automatic writing, you're sitting there and that inspiration just comes and you just write and write and write and write. And you go, wow, I got to meet this person. That's pretty profound. But when I started actually having physical downloads, um, I was doing something mundane, and all of a sudden I would just kind of like a robot, just freeze, and my head would drop, and I would just be there silent, and then I would wake up as if nothing happened. I didn't actually go out, but I would be in the grocery store, and I would just lean against something and just there, and I'm thinking to myself, please don't call 911 because there's really nothing wrong with me. I didn't know what was happening, but I had a sense that I was being held lovingly.
Yeah.
And I started realizing many years later that I literally was being given information that maybe I didn't go, okay, A is this color and this is that and everything else. But something was happening that was transforming me. And I did have enough smarts not to tell anybody about it. And I did have enough faith that I knew I didn't have a brain tumor, because that's what somebody would do. I got to go see a doctor. I just, but each way is a little different. However, in my journey, I did realize that I needed to have a conversation and say, look, guys, we're not going to do this while I'm on a freeway or walking across the street. You have to remember this human body is breakable.
Yeah.
And so we
Yeah.
had an understanding that I wouldn't receive these, long period downloads and put me in danger. But that's when I started gleaning information, and it was so loving and sweet and safe, and but you need to be able to understand and have that trust that this download is coming from the higher beings that are for your better good. And I
Yeah.
always ask that nothing and no thing and no way, no thought that is not for my highest good can ever penetrate into my being.
Yeah.
So I put that protection up there.
And that is important too, because there are different dimensions, different planes of existence, so to speak,
Yep.
on the other side. Not to diminish or judge anything, but it's for me also. I prefer to go, if we think of it as higher up in the hierarchy, with information, because it's going to be clearer. It's not going to be demanding. You know the source, you can feel it, right?
Yeah.
And for me, it has nothing to do with anything traditional, but I also, when I receive something or I sense a presence, or I can even see sometimes, um, I am actually questioning. So even if we are in awe, because it's fantastic, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, but also, okay, you meet me. Do you just take on a person you meet on the street? No, you don't. It's the
No.
same in this way, because we want to go. We don't want to go to the astral planes or other dimensions, right? We want to
Yes.
know this is coming from, so we can put up filters for it, right? So we know. Of
Yes.
course, I know a lot of people who call on psychic lines, they want messages from their loved ones, and I understand that, and I do give sometimes, but I have these filters, so not everybody actually comes through. So they are
Excuse me.
probably, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I'm just agreeing with you.
Okay, because it is really important and it is wonderful, but anyone can from the other side, because we can't really see them as we're seeing each other. It means that we need to be a little bit picky.
Yes. And for some reason, we're being taught that just because it's ethereal or it's spiritual or it's this, that it's just got a blank of a-okay. But
Yeah.
even in all the realms, there are learning processes and things that you need to be aware of. And as I tell my students in meditation, I said, if you set that standard that nothing except for your highest good, not their highest good or anything else, but your highest good cannot be in communication with you, you have said, uh, I really don't need that information because there's a lot of information and I only want what is going to be able to help me become a better who I am. And
Yes. A
so
better version of yourself, right?
exactly, exactly. And uh, it's almost as if you're in a schoolyard and all these little kids are trying to tell you something and and my doggy this and I did this and my daddy's bigger than your daddy and everything else, and there's all of this competition and chaos, and we really don't need to be in a situation like that. We need to get to the clarity of, okay, are you going to show me your dog at this time and be specific about what we came to do. That didn't make any sense at all, but apparently it came out.
It did make sense,
it's
at least to me.
it's like, okay, I don't know what that. There again, sometimes in great humor, the illustrations come in very primitive ways.
Yeah. But it's wonderful to get messages from loved ones and your pets coming in. I have had quite a few cats, for instance. And once in a while they do come and I can feel them. It's like when they are stroking their fur on my leg.
Oh, yes,
Um,
yes,
and I have many loved ones on the other side too, of course. They come when it's needed, right? It doesn't always mean. I remember one of my first times. So I had a boyfriend, and we were together for 2.5 years, and he died
oh,
in an
yes,
accident. And it took maybe a few years for him to. In the beginning, I could see him frequently, but then it took a couple of years, something of that nature, before he came. And I met him while I was sleeping, because that is also a state where we are so relaxed. It's easy for us to go to other dimensions. And my perception is that we do frequently actually travel all the time because we
yes,
are in that state of being relaxed. And, I woke up and I said to myself, okay, why did he come? Is something going to happen? Something is going to happen. And my mind kicked in and I
yes,
started to worry, right? But usually when they are showing up, sometimes they have a very important message, but it's usually just showing us that um, it's going to be okay. I am here. I see you. I see you. I'm with you, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. One of the things that I realized, and I ask myself, how did I realize these things? Because these are terminologies that I have never used in my life. And that's why I knew that the downloads were preparing me to be able to see things from a different perspective. And I had this sense that my DNA was expanding. And and I laughingly say that, especially if I go to see a doctor and I say, well, my body's a little different. And and then they'll go to do something and they'll go, well, that doesn't normally happen. And I'll just kind of laugh because I go, I told you my DNA was different. But I had this sense long before I understood. So I knew that I was getting information that was not something I was accustomed to, but it was preparing me to be able to handle more and more of what was coming. And it's been such an interesting adventure, and I really believe that because I don't have any. When I say the word um, prejudice, I don't have any set hard rules that it's got to look like this, it's got to sound like that, it's got to be this, or it's not real. And I was more able to take this information without going, well, this doesn't fit with that dogma, or this doesn't go with that religion, or this doesn't go, so it can't be good. And I think that's why that I've been able to um, receive all that I've received is because I was a computer that needed to be programmed,
Yes.
and I wasn't resisting every little thing, and now that I'm getting more information and I'm a little more discerning, but I have valid information to make a valid conclusion instead of just not going to do that, this and everything else. It's not pink, so I'm not going to wear it. Those types of immediate visceral things that we're taught to do, that if it doesn't quack like a duck and walk like a duck, then it's got to be a cat. you know and it may
Yeah.
be a duck, maybe a duck-billed platypus, which
Yeah.
defies everything, or an avocado. which
Yeah.
all the fruit got a big seed and all the fruit's on the outside. So rather than coming from a judgment, I came from an openness to allow for the possibilities.
Yeah.
And that I
You
think
know,
is, yeah.
I I just remembered something that I had forgotten, to be honest. You know, I was maybe 7, 8 years old, and in school you start learning to write, to read, mathematics, simple things, right?
Yeah.
And here in Sweden, we start at 7. So maybe I was in my second or third year, probably second, first or second. Um, and I went to my mom because I had been sick. I had some fever going on, right? And I went to my mom and I explained to her why we do have fever. And I had no way of really, because we hadn't been taught that at that age in school, right? So she
Right.
said, "How do you know that?" I just received something, but I didn't understand at the time that I did receive. We get information of different kinds this way. And maybe that's why I call it inspiration and guidance and things coming. But it's so interesting and it guides us forward. It makes us understand things. You can say you are being given downloads so that you be upgraded and get deeper understanding of things, right?
Mhm. Yes.
It is really intriguing. It's fantastic, to be honest.
But I think it's a certain type of personality that uh, I'm judging from myself. Curiosity, um, adventurous, um, tenacious. All of these things that are of my personality, I think, allow me to be more acceptant of things that may be a little bit out of my normal scope. And that curiosity is, well, how does that work? uh, there again, why would you do that particular thing to accomplish that particular thing? And so I was looking for ways of putting things together, and I think that gave me a greater sense of allowing for these incredible downloads to come. And as they came, and like a computer, I'm being uploaded with all of this vast information. And it's to me, it's a connection that is like breathing,
Yeah,
because I know that there is no possible way that I could hold all this information if I was not prepared for it. It's like when I'm doing a Reiki attunement, I'm not giving
yeah,
people Reiki, but I am taking their human body, their fragile human body, and I am installing protection around their nervous system so this information can come into them without them imploding. And I
yeah,
think that is what has been happening over the years, that they have been kind of preparing the human fragile body to be able to handle the vastness of this information. And um, and I'm just tenacious enough to say, yeah, I can do that.
yeah. You talked about personality. Yes, of course. If I am a person who says, "Okay, I'm not going to go further. I know it all already." Yeah, well, you put up the framework. So
Exactly.
it's not going to be easy. We need to be open and we need to be curious. And
Yes.
and I call it stubborn, you call it tenacious, right? not giving up. And because this kind of communication doesn't happen in the way we are used to, like we do in the earthly plane. It's different.
Right.
Doesn't mean that it's not valid. It's very, very valid. And we can get these sometimes, when I do chores at home, when I'm by myself, maybe I have some soft music in the background, a cup of coffee or whatever it is, but I'm being in my own energy. That's when I get all of these things too.
Yep. Yep.
It's if I'm in crowded places, there will be more picking up the energies from the surroundings, right? That's going to be different. Once in
Yeah.
a while, maybe something else is going to come. But for me, it's more required to be in my own space, not
Right.
interrupted by anything, right? But also, I want to go back to the automatic writing. My perception of automatic writing, because I did that, and I still do it, but not my way or the highway. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
And, and I had this idea that automatic writing, so I take a paper and a pen, and someone is going to come from the other side and steering the pen for me. No, that's not how that works. It
No.
is also, when we start writing and get into that flow, it comes and it still functions. We have different ways of doing it. Some people want to have the pen and paper. Um, I write on the laptop because it goes faster. I'm the
Yeah.
fast one, right? The Gemini, the wind.
Well, I'm older than you, and computers weren't invented in my days, so it was the pen and the paper. So, so that's familiar with me. So, I find that I write, and then I put it onto the computer. But it's all in how we receive things, and when I first started getting the downloads. And there again, because I'm curious, um, it was if I was just kind of I didn't black out, so to speak, but I just kind of went into a cocoon. I just went, you know, like robots. Ah, stop. And and I thought it was curious when those things would happen, but fortunately, they don't happen like that anymore because I remember one time it happened when I was in a pool and I was sitting on the edge of the pool and my friend was with me and I just kind of went like this. And of course, in the peripheral, I could hear people saying, "Is she okay? Is she okay?" And he said, "Yeah, she's okay. She's just meditating and so forth and so on." And so he was acting as my buffer. But uh, yes, it's fascinating because everything is done for you individually, and it
Yeah,
allows you to be able to uh, perceive things and embrace things in your understanding. And I really think all of those stories I read as a kid, the sci-fi, and I especially love the ones where I don't know, somewhere maybe on Mars or something, the kids would just plug in earphones before earphones were invented, and they would get the education they need. And I thought, wouldn't that be more efficient than going to school? You just plug in, and then the next morning you have all that information. And I thought that was rather handy way back when I was, 9, 10, 11. And of course, science hadn't caught up with that yet, but, you know,
I have a funny story. My grandmother from my mother's side, she told me, the redhead with the freckles, by the way. She
uh-huh.
was born 1920, and she said when she went to school, they were thinking that the year 2000, we wouldn't have food on the place, we would have pills. That's what they were imagining
Yep.
back then, right? Yeah.
I know, you know, flying cars and all that. And I mean, but we do have those things now. Um, so it just took a little bit longer, but that's a whole nother story we could get into because uh, you know all the uh, reverse technology that they've been doing with all of the alien technology and claiming it to be, oh look, we can do this, and I'm going, yeah, sure, I know,
Yeah,
because my
exactly.
friends told me where that really came from. Yes.
Well, one could say that to receive a download is to be upgraded in some way, to be given information that you probably wouldn't have digged into, you don't know it. It's not in status, but in frequency and vibration and energy. It is the recalibration of the soul's software. That's another way of putting it, right?
Perfect.
The expansion of inner bandwidth, the activation of dormant codes. I can go on and on. And these upgrades are not earned, they are aligned. They come when the soul is ready to hold more truth, more light, more remembrance. But
Yep.
also, it's not going to come and fall into our lap, meaning that we need to send out the intention. I'm willing, I'm open, I'm receptive. The journey of spiritual upgrades is not linear. It spirals through layers of identity, belief, and embodiment. It asks us to release what no longer resonates. It invites us to integrate what has been revealed. It is not always comfortable. No, I can sign that one. It can feel like disorientation. So when you think you know something and you have a belief system, you are challenged to review that. Are you going to stick with the old, or are you going to
Yep.
adapt to the new? Or are you going to find the way through some kind of a mixture, right? Because that can happen too. So it can feel like disorientation, fatigue, or emotional release. But beneath the surface, something sacred is unfolding because we are digging within, right? We are receiving information. We are not just receiving information, we are becoming it. Yes, we
Perfect.
are becoming it. We are not just learning new truths, we are embodying ancient ones. And ancient ones, not only what everybody was saying in ancient times, but the things that people knew, right? That hadn't been brushed away yet, right? And we hadn't been so formed as we are today. Each transmission carries a frequency, and each upgrade shifts our vibration. Each moment of integration brings us closer to our original blueprint, our soul's blueprint, right?
Yep. This
Yes,
this is the transformational beauty of allowing and and stepping onto this wonderful adventurous path with the confidence that I'm going to be part of something that is going to make me feel really authentic and shine within myself. And if you have to do some house cleaning, that's fine. But the beauty is to embrace it and to, as I say, go with the flow because you you receive so much beyond your slightest comprehension. You can't conceive what is really out there until you start getting glimpses of this amazing transformation that leaves you feeling so connected and so complete.
Yes, and when we are getting information and transmissions and downloads and everything is coming through, you can say that we can have our higher self as a future, or as a filter, not future,
Yes,
sorry.
yes,
So we filter out experience, and we talked about this also as human beings on this path. It is important actually to maintain our spiritual hygiene. Coming back to that, because it's something we do daily. We take care of our appearance. We think about what we eat. We brush our teeth. We shower. But
yes,
how many are monitoring and one way or the other and find your own way? There are so many different ways to do it, to take care of your energy on a daily basis. That is maybe the difference between feeling over the top exhausted, maybe depressed, or
yes,
feeling energized, right?
exactly. And that is so vitally important too, because the journey of moving into your spiritual realm and into your connection with your soul, it's so sacred that it really does need to have care, because you don't want to just expose it to just everything that's out there. And just like if the weather changes, you change the clothes so you are able to endure what you're enduring. And taking care of your spiritual well-being has got to be a number one priority.
Yeah, it is. And it also helps you, not getting clogged with energies, not having um, energetic cords getting stuck on you,
Oh yeah.
clearing yourself, cleaning your energy. And, you know, these transmissions, they are not random. They are orchestrated by our higher selves. You could say our crew or guides
Hmm.
and the universal intelligence. So the divine, or however we want to express that thing, right? They are a part of our soul and what we have agreed to. I'm not very fond of the word contract.
No.
So if I signed a contract, I'm going to buy the fine text next time. I'm just joking.
Yes.
But they are the whispers of destiny encoded in light. And I'm not fond of the word destiny either. But if we think that um, there's no destiny written in stone, we always can correct our path and we can say yes or no to basically everything. And we can always make new choices if we know that and we have that anchored within us. We don't feel in despair, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing to fear anymore. So to walk this path is also like becoming a living antenna, a receiver of cosmic wisdom, a transmitter of divine presence. It is it is to live in communion with the unseen. And because it's the unseen, we use other senses to connect, right? And therefore, before we come to that place where we really trust, it can feel uh, weird, strange, exhausting. But we need also to let go of the control. We know when we are on the right path and when what we are receiving is filled with light, when we feel good. If we have the sense that I feel pushed into something, that's a no-no. Say no. and it's gone. Because the moment we say no, whatever is coming close to us has to go. That's
Yeah.
what it is, right? We're not inviting it.
And I think that's why we've brought forth information that is helping people find their authenticity, find their true self, and connecting to their divine spirit. Because when you start having that intimacy with your own self, you become more discerning. You're able to realize that this is not where my soul wants to go, so I need to find another path. And with all of this pathfinding, are you going to be imparting questions upon me again today?
I thought you would never ask.
Oh,
I
wow.
have to make a joke, right? The
Uh-huh.
jokester. So we always go through 5 simple, engaging questions, and today is
Oh,
going to be
simple.
around today's topic. Yeah, ethereal transmissions, the journey of spiritual downloads and upgrades. And of course, I ask Karine, and sometimes she gets them back to me, but it's also for all of you watching this to ponder about what you feel about each and every question, right? First question. What does it feel like when a spiritual download arrives, and how can we recognize it?
I think I've answered that question, and how it felt personally to me.
Yes,
It was like, okay, be silent. Something's happening, and and then I felt like I had received something, understood something, but it wasn't in my realm of understanding at that time. So how did it feel to you? I mean, we of course we've been doing this for a while, so it's a little different experience, and each person out there is going to experience it differently. Don't compare what I did with how you have it. Enjoy your experience.
exactly, because we are all unique and it comes to us very, very differently many
Yes.
times. Sometimes it can be similar. For me, I'm usually getting signs first because they want to catch me, Gemini, like the wind, back and forth. So it's coming something like this. Hey, you.
Uh-huh.
There's something up here. So that's
Hello.
how I get it. So they show me things that I can't miss, right?
Yeah.
You name it, numbers, other things. It's things out of the blue that are weird happening, so they want to prepare me. So it's time to settle, right?
Yeah.
And I can get it when I sit and I do my stuff. It depends on, of course, what I'm doing. Chores at home is brilliant, or even painting or whatever it can be, things of that nature. When I'm in my own energy and I'm by myself, and I
Yeah.
get information, or sometimes I just sit and I'm ready to write, and I just get things. It's coming like I don't need to think. I correct it after if I have to, if it's something I'm going to present to others or something of that nature. I just get it. And there are times when these downloads come in parts, um, where it doesn't make sense as a whole picture before I receive all of them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes me, oh, I'm intrigued. I want the rest. Give it to me.
Yes.
So, how do upgrades in our energy field prepare us for higher levels of awareness?
Ah. Well, I'm going to put it in a way that I understand it. If I'm building something, I can't start with the roof and then build the foundation. I have to have the foundation, and it has to be solid, so I'll be able to build on top of that. And in my in my experience, um, if I had been given the blueprints of the universe and said, "Now go do something," and I would go, "But where are my tools? What do I have?" I
Yeah.
need to have structure before I can get to the structure of what I'm doing. And I feel that, by giving them, and I love to use the expression when I'm working with the universe, please give it to me in increments that I can handle. In other words,
Yes.
I don't need to be hit over the head with a 2x4. Just kind of give me a little nudge so I know that something's coming.
Yeah.
And I feel that that's what happens, is they give me what I can handle, and then I can build on that.
Yeah. I think that's a beautiful explanation. It comes in a bit, and we don't only need to grow our gifts, right? We need to dig within to be able to set that foundation for
Yes.
stepping into higher levels of awareness. There's no shortcut there, actually.
Yep.
And I remember in the old days when I started with this lesson prophecy, after a year and a half, I said, "Now I know everything. I get it."
Yeah, you got it.
I,
You got it.
and I had only just scratched the surface. That's it, right?
Right.
Um,
Oh,
and
yes.
in what I want to mention something else. When we receive these upgrades and downloads for ourselves, it has a greater foundation in one sense or another, right? Because
Mhm,
we need to know who we are, right? Gives
mhm.
us energy and power and peace because we also receive. Then none of us, and this is also something to consider, none of us usually receives everything by ourselves. So with interacting with others, we are going to get pieces that are going to fit into our own perception of things, right? Because we
Absolutely.
are oneness as well. Don't forget that.
Yep.
Okay, third question. In what ways can ethereal transmissions guide us through times of transformation?
Oh, ah, I swear, lady, when between picking olives and building houses and everything, do you have time to all of this information? It must just be buzzing through your head, and you're hooked up to a computer and go blah, 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 because they're amazing, amazing. But when you have these incredible opportunities to connect to something that is part of you, but not part of you in this realm, because we're not disconnected. But when we get these transmissions, then our whole being is transformed into an ability to give these learnings to other people. In other words, as this information comes to me, and then my DNA changes. When my DNA changes, I'm able to understand things that are so much more. And then when I am talking to my students, then I can put it in a way that they can understand it. So without this incredible transformation, um, I would just be, another person standing on the block wondering what to do with my life. So thank you.
Yes. So, how can we trust and integrate these cosmic messages into our daily lives?
Embrace them.
Another, Yes.
embrace them and understand that um, these are, I hate the word shortcut, but it is like a shortcut or a shorthand. When in the old days before we had computers, we wrote in a language that shortened the words, and that was called shorthand. And that's kind of like what it seems to me, that I'm getting the condensed version so then I can expand on it. And I don't have to go through the, all of the arduous training. I'm kind of getting like that little red pill, you know.
That was brilliantly said, and that's how it works for me too. It moves me forward. It helps me. Doesn't mean
Yes,
it's always coming in the instant that I want. If I'm impatient, and I
right.
learn patience because we need to learn that. But it's always coming in the right time, and when we trust that, okay, I didn't see that happening today, but I relax in the feeling that I know that I'm going to be told the rest that I need to know, or get information or signs or guidance or downloads or, upgrades or whatever it is that's going to come. Trust in it. And it does help us move forward, and we can experience and observe miracles in our lives.
Yes,
Things that are really strange sometimes, but they give us joy because we say, okay, I didn't expect that. Oh,
exactly.
wonderful, right?
Yes,
A- and be
and
open to it.
and I know that I am this perfect, imperfect human, and I know that I came to play a dramatic role in the evolution of humanity. And when I know that I am connected, I don't have to do it all myself. I just have to play my role the best I can. And allowing this to be my guide and my companion, I don't have to go out and reinvent the tire or the wheel. I can go out and go, wow, that makes it go round, so I'm going to use that. And that is
Yeah.
the beauty of working with the experience and working with the divine guidance. Um,
Yeah.
you're not alone.
So no, and it helps to evolve and grow spiritually, but it also helps in practical days, in practical tasks every day, right?
Yes,
So for instance, um, I know I need to find maybe something. It can be a plumber, it can be a doctor, it can be, whatever, something practical.
yeah,
Um, and I'm going to be given the help, but I also need to show that I'm ready to receive and I'm ready to start searching, because when we show intention, that's a part of it. And you could say that um, ethereal transmissions and transformations and downloads and upgrades can help us to find solutions in daily life and manifest,
yes,
right?
absolutely. And just uh it's like each one of us have something unique to bring to the creation. And without that, maybe I'm bringing this cinnamon, and without cinnamon, that creation we're creating isn't going to taste as great. And so I'm bringing the cinnamon, and you're bringing the nutmeg, and somebody else is bringing this. And that is the beauty of the cooperation of being part of this divine journey, and bringing your absolutely unique spark to the
Yes.
whole.
Last question. What role does collective consciousness play in the flow of spiritual downloads and upgrades?
What role? What was that again?
What role does collective consciousness play in the flow of spiritual downloads and upgrades?
Well, I think I accidentally answered that because when we are in tune with all that is around us, and we're in that collective mind, and not in a negative collective mind, we're not being controlled. That's the beauty of our uniqueness, is we all have our own choice that we can make. And that's what makes this species so incredible. We can choose to accept it or not accept it, but it is there and we can tap into it. And it's like tapping into Google. If there's a word that you need to have translated a little bit different, you can tap into it and you can get that information. And I think having that ability to be able to tap into the wholeness when we need to learn more about what we're doing and be able to be more of what we can, I think it's a beautiful thing to have that connection.
It is beautiful. And like you said, if we're going to make a cake, everybody's bringing one ingredient.
That's right. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yes.
So, is there anything else we want to say about downloads and upgrades?
Always. But I think we should kind of, you know,
Wrap it up.
let people absorb the humor and the randomness of the conversation that I was having today with myself. And it was like, okay, guys, put it all together because somebody is going to find something out of this that is going to help them. And that is the beauty of this conversation.
Yeah, and I can add something actually because it happens to me almost all the time. You could say frequently. It's another word. I know when there's advice or something is not coming from my mind, when the expression of it is so very different from what I would say or
Exactly.
state or the wording. And I tend to get a lot of old-fashioned words and words that I sometimes I have to look them up because I've never heard them before. Right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's a good thing to know. And yeah, I go on then. So you can find all past episodes at angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming dash past and youtube.com/at cosmic guardians 111 and youtube.com/at angelplaceonearth/streams. And our next upcoming show on Cosmic Guardians and Cosmic Sisters with Miss Corrine and myself is going to be next Wednesday, Christmas Eve, December 24th. And we talk about the gift of being you, the sacred power of your authentic, valuable, unique self. That's
Yeah.
very fitting. Gift yourself to you, right?
Yes. Okay.
And you can find our series at angelplaceonearth.com/series-cosmic-guardians. You can connect with us, read articles, and find out all about us. You can find Miss Corrine, her website and phone number, and everything else you want to know. Her Tuesday open heart meditations. You can find myself at angelplaceonearth.com/cosmic-guardians. And I would like to end with a little bit of an affirmation to do every day. So,
Yep.
do you want to read that or do you want me to read it?
Oh, I would be glad to. I open my heart to the wisdom of the universe. I trust the divine intelligence guiding my path. Every download I receive awakens my soul, and every upgrade expands my light. I am aligned, empowered, and free to embody the infinite truth of who I am.
Oh,
Beautiful.
thank you. Yeah, that was beautiful. I love when you say them.
Well, I can feel what you're saying, and it just, I, you know, I feel it.
So, as we close this journey together for this show with Cosmic Guardians and Anne and Corrine, may the ethereal transmissions we have explored continue to resonate within your heart. Spiritual downloads and upgrades are not fleeting moments, but living reminders that the universe is always guiding, always expanding, and always inviting us into deeper awareness.
Yes.
Carry these insights with you as seeds of transformation. Allow them to grow into wisdom, compassion, and empowerment in your daily life. Remember that you are a radiant being connected to infinite intelligence, and every step you take is part of the greater cosmic dance. Until we meet again, may your path be illuminated by love, your spirit uplifted by joy, and your soul strengthened by peace. With infinite love, peace, and joy, we see you,
See,
we hear
we hear
you,
you.
we honor
We honor
you,
you.
we love
We love you.
you, we
And we
appreciate
appreciate you.
you.
Yes. Yes. Mwah.
Yes, thank you. Mwah. I'm going to do that too in this. Bye bye.
Bye bye.